So it's the first week of March 2020, and Diana and I are sitting cross-legged on the library floor of an abandoned Catholic girls' school, hot gluing trash to trash, probably. Pretty commonplace theater activity for us. When this is over, I am taking a break, Diana says. Same, I say. We're burning the midnight oil again in the hours before we open our play. The 10 of us had taken the contents of an abandoned storage unit and turned it into this avant-garde theater piece, which we then laboriously installed in the above-mentioned Catholic girls' school. It was this wild experiment, and we just longed for it to be over. We wanted a break. A break from theater and from this project. A break to figure out if we even liked theater or this project. A break from grant reports and budget spreadsheets and trying to figure out if we'd sold enough tickets. One of our company members was like, I just want 10 minutes. 10 minutes to figure out if I want to go to law school instead. I wanted a break because, I turned 30 and all of a sudden my body wanted sleep and 3 meals a day with vegetables. Also health insurance. But mostly we wanted a break from the unit, the storage unit. This crazy-making mountain of a stranger's cans and orange juice containers and every mail-in offer he ever received, also balls of tape and jars of string and Band-Aids. It was the first week of March and we wanted a break. 9 months later, I texted Dana, this isn't really what I meant by a break. She texted me back an upside down smiley face. The pandemic had shut our play down right as it had opened. I haven't done any theater since, but having spent almost a year and a half digging through the contents of a stranger's abandoned storage unit, a stranger who could have been building a library or a time capsule or a bunker, this break has felt oddly like we've prepared for it. Like it's just the next chapter in our weird play about a storage unit. We spent a year digging through that which someone had abandoned. Not what someone had forgotten, but what they had been forced to let go. We crafted this story and installed this museum of stuff in another place someone had left behind. When we found it, the Catholic girls' school looked like the students had been raptured out of their seats. Next year's admissions letters were still on the principal's desk, stamped, ready to go, never sent. It didn't seem like there'd be students coming back there anytime soon. This was before the pandemic hit, and we didn't know that every school would look like ours come March. I spent a year digging through that which was abandoned, only to have to abandon it before I wanted to let it go. See, we had spent so long trying to figure out what the stuff in the storage unit meant, taking these wild guesses at who the stranger who left it all behind really was. Was this guy a prepper who didn't trust the machinations of the government, scrawling in encrypted code across his collection of egg cartons? Or was he just a clever craftsman who sculpted life-size statues out of other people's trash? An artist who saw the beauty in every little thing that he saved, a frozen fruit bag or a big piece of orange industrial foam. Was he a pervert? Hoarding porn magazines and literotica? Or was he just keenly interested in how we as humans and bodies relate and touch each other in this world? We never learned. Nothing stuffed within the walls of the storage unit ever told us. in the unit, we just found ourselves. We canceled the run of our play on March 13th, 2020, the day everything was canceled. The next day we pulled on blue rubber gloves and no masks. Not yet. We didn't know. And we emptied our hearts and our play into a dumpster. We abandoned the abandoned. Each of us took home something small from the unit. I have an old blue empty eggnog can that now sits on my desk full of pens. Diana tried to save that really big piece of orange industrial foam, but she couldn't find a place to store it in her apartment. I had never seen a storage unit until we found ours in 2019. And now I can't seem to escape them. Can't take a break. In September, I put my day job into storage too. I work for this little nonprofit that does educational theater, and I rolled our little red chairs, our box of books, the dishes and hangers for visiting actors, rolled them straight into a second floor unit at the Life Storage on Presumpscot Street. My coworker joked that at least our stuff has a water view, which is true. If we didn't shut the door, we could look through the hallway, over a gas station, and into Casco Bay. We shut the door. Theater doesn't feel the same from the home office. Empathy building is a little more difficult over Zoom. So we've tucked the office and the possibility of performing away until there's a vaccine. Tomorrow I am meeting my friend Rachel at Steel Clad Self-Storage. That name. If you're looking for a fun after-school activity, Google the names of your local storage unit facilities. They have this campy, strangely desperate quality to them as they try to convince their renters of the valor that it takes to provide a uniquely safe, climate-controlled experience for your life's shit. In any case, I'm helping Rachel unload her parents' moving truck full of things salvaged from her childhood home, which burned this summer in the wildfires out west. What they saved, they packed into a truck to send out east. Real estate, storage units included, I guess, are cheaper in Maine, where things are not on fire yet. Her parents are going to make the journey this spring across the country to reunite with their stuff and their daughter. My boyfriend's uncle got COVID. I'm not really sure how. He lives in this cabin alone in Brownfield, Maine. Years of clear booze and cigar smoke seeped into everything he owned, which I could smell as we loaded the contents of his home into a storage unit down the road. He's recovered, but in a nursing home now. And the stuff that made his home now lives in a concrete box. My friend Jonah died in his apartment in New York City in April. He also lived alone in Brooklyn. He was so smart and so curious and so averse to haircuts. My friend Mari wrote that in a Facebook eulogy. I asked my ex to send photos from a trip that we took with Jonah and Mari, and he emailed them to me along with this video of Jonah laughing in 2014. I find myself feeling very grateful for cloud storage these days. Jonah's parents drove from Michigan to New York in early May to clean out his apartment. They put his stuff in storage. Why? When you put the collected works of an artist, all the ideas in their infancy, the final drafts, the forgotten strokes of genius, all the other shit, when you stuff it all at once in one place, what story does it tell? Is it different than if you witness that person chronologically over a lifetime? Would the artist seem less crazy? I wonder what the stuff in Jonah's apartment told his parents. I imagine their hearts fracturing as they pack away each disjointed piece of their perfect son. When someone finds Jonah's storage unit one day, will they know that he loved Chopin and his Polish grandmother, or that in college he went to every play, even the bad ones? I've come to know so well the sound of the metal overhead door of a storage unit. It has the same audio quality as the click of a deadbolt or slamming shut the trunk of your car. A period. Finality. Sort of. There are so many things that I want to stuff away and allow to collect dust in the great American storage unit of great American theater. Living room dramas, pretty much anything David Mamet wrote, thoroughly modern Millie. Personally, I also want to put on pause the litany of mediocre regional productions, many of which I take partial responsibility for, sorry. I'd like a recall on most rehearsals, also burnout. Can I stuff away white men with too much to say and too many resources and opportunities to say it? Can I store out of sight the beauty pageant that most white women perpetuate in every audition line? Can we put away theater that turns good people into bad tropes? Toss in there spending money on strategic planning and elaborate galas, but still not paying your interns. That said, why would I bother storing those things at all? Why keep them? Why pay rent on that bullshit? The wisdom of the storage unit has taught me that people put things into storage because, in theory, they want them back someday. So what do I want back? What do I want to hold on to? I want to hoard the weirdness. I want to clutch for safekeeping the cardboard props. That funny feeling between your brain and your skull when you're like really in it. Reading new plays in a friend's living room on Saturday morning. Being able to smell your scene partner. Seeing something that articulates an idea in a new way. Fucking storytelling. Oh, the joy of utter stupidity. That semi-crazed, vacant look that you give your fellow actors when you have just forgotten all of your lines. When people pretend to be animals. Being so proud of someone you know who's just crushing it up there. Friday night audiences, bad plays, like really bad ones, so bad. That one exercise where you lie on each other's stomachs and you laugh. I love that one. Ritual. The hopeful unknown of starting a new project. When a good play doesn't give you all the answers. Children's theater. Looking out into the crowd and knowing that you're all there in the same room. breathing together. I want to hold on to that. I will keep paying rent on that stuff so that maybe someday we can throw open the door and unpack.